Hello, hello. Just doing a mic check, making sure my mic is working before we get started. All right, well, I think we're ready to start our Day of Dragons Memorial Day weekend developer Q&A. And I am lead developer Super Rhino, aka John Slayball in real life, but who cares about real life, right? We got some Day of Dragons music playing in the background. I don't know if you have the soundtrack or not, but it's beautiful music. You can find the soundtrack on Steam. It's also on Spotify. It's really good music. And over here on my other screen, I'm kind of showing off our new skin system in Unreal Engine 5. And I am kind of tired, but I'm okay. I'm always tired. I just work too much. My lower back's really stiff. I was lifting, I tried lift, I don't know if any of you have ever been to like the pet store to get dog food, and you're like, I don't need a buggy. I'm just gonna all the dog food. So I had I carried way too many bags of dog food. I should have got a buggy, and I hurt my back. So anyway, we're looking at this new skin here on the screen, and I'm kind of like managing like multiple screens and chats and things like that, so kind of doing a whole bunch of different things here. So if I'm a little discombobulated, that's why. But we're working on right now. I'm working on getting things ready for Unreal Engine 5. I'm switching over a lot of stuff, and some of the stuff's already done. Some of it I'm still working on. Some things where we have to change because like the Mega Map system, Branton, our level designer, he needs certain things ready for, so I'm trying to get things ready for him so he can, has everything he needs to keep working on the map. And the new Unreal Engine 5, has some awesome map features, as world partition, which allows us to have an absolutely humongous world for a map without needing to use portals, because the old system we used portals to go to different biomes. So on the client, all the different biomes were streamed in, but with world partition, all the biomes will all be in the same world, and we won't have to use level streaming. So that's pretty awesome. And then with the 64-bit floating point precision in Unreal Engine 5, we won't have to use client origin rebasing anymore. So there's some things that I'm deprecating in the current version to switch over to the new version, because it's not used anymore, and it's actually broken in Unreal Engine 5. So I tried getting the old map into Unreal Engine 5, and it's completely broken because they changed how maps work. And so the new Mega Map's going to be very, very amazing, and y'all are going to love it. And the best way to ask me a question during the Dev Q&A is because there's a lot of chat, and it's all kinds of blurs together. So if you have a question, if you do @BeAwesomeGames, it'll make your chat red, and then I'll be able to see it really easy, and then I'll know there's a question there. So the Mega Map, the old Mega Map was going to be 4 16K biomes to make up one large 32K world. The new Mega Map is just going to be one 32K biome or map, with all the biomes built into it. What new interactives do you plan in UE5? Clouds, there will definitely be clouds, yes. Most definitely clouds. How far along is Infernal Ravager, and is the lighting on fire mechanic in the works? Lighting on fire mechanic. Not really sure what you mean by lighting on fire mechanic. But Infernal Ravager has a lot of issues right now, animation issues, and they're being fixed. So that's why we're pushing him back, because by the time, you know, we get all those issues worked out, it's probably going to be later in the year anyway. So we're just going to put him in with the big 1.0 update, instead of putting out an update with just him and UE4, because I don't want to like hold back on completely switching things over to UE5 to wait for the Infernal Ravager. So I'd rather go ahead and get everything switched over to Unreal Engine 5 and then just finish the Ravager when that's all done. Are you double hearing the music like through my speakers and through the stream? Okay, I wasn't sure if you guys were double hearing the music or not. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have underwater stuff. We actually put on our Trello the first water dragon. It's gonna be an Eastern style dragon. If you've seen like Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, and, at the end of the movie, you know, you had that big water dragon coming out. So we want to make a water dragon like that, like an Eastern noodle dragon. And we'll have underwater stuff too, so in the ocean. One in will be out when it's done. I can't work on one end and UE5 stuff at the same time, and I gotta get UE5 stuff, some of the UE5 stuff done for Branton, so he can continue working on the level, you know, while I'm working on one end. So you just have to like prioritize things based on when they're needed to be done. What about weather, like storms and rain? Yes, we're definitely going to have storms and rain in UE5. As far as lightning goes, some people want it. I might make it like a toggle that'll be off by default, because I tell you, lightning flashes in a game, they really mess me up. So, and I know people that are sensitive to light and seizures, you know, so that'd be something that's a toggle option, I think, if we do have the lightning. What will be animated after the bio in 1.0? Nurse and Singecrest. Let's see, will the volcanoes have eruptions? I hope so. Are there ideas in the works for fixing shroom camping? Yes. When you release the game on UE5, will our dragon's progress be wiped? I don't know. Is rain going to affect fire dragons? I don't know. It might affect fire, like being able to set somebody on fire. Might not be able to do it if it's raining. Let's see, is there any plan to change up the Eldering system for a survival game? I feel like just eating a handful of shrooms don't really work with the lore of the game. It's something we are talking about, whether or not we want to do that. With new skins coming up, will Flamestalker Crimson have a craftable at one point? Will Flamestalker Crimson have a craft? Oh, will that be part of like a recipe? Probably. Hey boss, some friends and I had already asked ourselves, do you intend to bring climate change to the game? Storm or snow? Definitely be snow, probably rain, maybe storms. We have smoothing out transition of thermal vision at the end of the bit. I'll have to take a look at that and see. I haven't really noticed any issues with thermal vision, but I'll look at it and see. Any ideas on who's animating the Blitz in 1.0? Not sure yet. It's probably not going to be Carly. Carly's going to be working on the bio and the nurse for sure. You're kind of quiet. Can't hear you very well. Let me try to fix that. How about now? Can you hear me now? Do you hear me now? Let's see, will every dragon have its own biome and can't stay out of its biome for a long time? There's going to be like perks to being in your, it's not so much your biome, but more of a temperature thing. Like whether you like hot environments, cold environments, or temperate environments. Egg incubation will definitely be affected, and I think your maybe your max stamina will be affected. Like if you're a cold dragon and you're in a hot environment, your max stamina might be half, and then same as the opposite if you're a fire and you're in a cold environment, you might just not have as much stamina, but there'll be some kind of effect that makes it so that you're not at your peak performance in a temperature climate that you're not suited for. Will the micro dragon be able to eat normal meat to survive, not just eggs? And is it possible to get STL files to dragons for personal 3D printing use? No, we're not going to offer the STL files to the dragons because I think we're actually going to try 3D printing some, and I don't think we're going to offer the STL files. I have to look into that. Maybe we will. But we're going to try doing some 3D printing stuff because I want some figurines of our dragons, even just for myself, because we have really cool looking dragons, which they're unique. I mean, you don't find there's no dragons out there that are like our dragons. I mean, yeah, there's similarities in others, but you know, they are unique. So. I definitely want to collect them. And I gotta collect them all. Will the micro dragon be able to eat normal meat to survive, not just eggs? It's designed to be an egg eater. It likes eggs. That's its thing. Most likely, we're going to make it so that there's certain AI that lay eggs, and so you'll be able to, as a micro, you'll be able to try to steal eggs from AI. as well as from players. But that's their food source. They like eggs. When will we get a fix for the current flight bug preventing dragons from taking off? I think I know what's causing the issue. The fix is going to be a little tricky because I think it's mainly due to like the server dropping packets due to the way the RPCs work, the remote procedure calls, being unreliable, on every tick. So there's a couple things I'm going to try to fix that. The surefire way to fix it would cause a lot of lag on the servers. Would overflow the buffer and things, so I can't do it that way. But there's some other things I'm going to try to fix it. But I'm pretty sure I figured out what the problem is. What is the hybrid's ability element? Is it a mix or just one? It's random. They could have fire, they could have ice, they could have acid. It's just it's a mystery. When will we get a fix? Let's see, it's the same question. Will Behemoth spawning time or tie with their lore, such as you can't spawn a female ice behemoth unless you have a certain amount of males? You only need one male. What's the progress on the Blitzstryker? It's being rigged right now. The model and textures are all done. It's just it's in the rigging process right now. Let's see, do you plan to add wind to the flight mechanics and fishing? Maybe in the future. Will the Sand Slayer be playable when it comes out? No. It will not be playable. Be way overpowered. You'd be able to just wreck the entire server as a Sand Slayer, so it's definitely just going to be AI. How's your day going? It's going alright. Thank you for asking. Also, what are you currently working on when it comes to UE5 transfer? What I'm currently working on is making all my systems that I've built over the last 2 years modular so that I can easily plug them in to not only the UE5 version of the game but also to the single player version of the game. Having to refactor a lot of the code for Unreal Engine 5 transfer has given me the excuse to make my systems modular. And by making them modular, you're basically taking the hard references out of the different mechanics and using putting those in like functions that have the references that you need that are like outside of the actual system, so that you can plug it in without breaking things. And then once it's plugged in, you just point the references where they're supposed to be to the proper classes, and then you're good to go. So that's what I'm working on, because doing that now makes my life a whole lot easier later. How's the work on the new map going? Just excited. Let's see, how is the work going on the new map? Let me see here. we showed the patrons let me see if I can get this to work here.
Alright, so let me turn off this blur node. There we go. So I have come up with the area to house the floating islands. So this is a canyon, and over here, I'm going to turn on the blur node. There we go. Over here will be a waterfall that leads down into this plateau. Will be flattened out so that it can obviously hold the water like a dam. And see the edges would keep it from overflowing. So it'd be a nice nice pond, large pond here. We've got a plateau here that would overlook the canyon, and you would have the floating islands floating over this large canyon. I'm thinking it's going to be a 8-kilometer region, and this whole piece will be 8-kilometer region. That way, the floating islands can be large and have enough space to actually like go up there and stay up there. It can house enemies up there, food, and have lots of like trees and shrubbery up there. I'm thinking the largest island has like a pond on it that flows into like off the island into this little lake pond area as well. So the big island would be like right here above in the corner, and then the smaller ones would be floating over this big canyon. And I'll send a little like drawing of where each position will be located. And I did take into account that there are plenty non-flying species, or there are some non-flying species. So if we decide that we want them to get up there as well, what we can do is we can have these like rock pillars, and these huge massive like vines are attached from the pillar to the main island, so that the non-flying species can still get up there, but there would be plenty of like smaller islands floating around that they can't get to, only flying dragons can get to. I want the islands to be large so that they can have shrubbery and water in different locations up there and house, like I said, different enemies. So yeah, I think this is pretty solid. This is probably my favorite location I've come up with so far.
So that was an update video that Brandon, our level designer, posted a couple weeks ago to us, and he's working on the different height maps that are going to make up the world, the mega map, and like there's going to be different areas, and each area is going to have its own height map, and so that's what he's working on, and he sends us weekly updates, and this is kind of like what he was like thinking with the floating islands. Like there'd be like these vines that are kind of like climbable, and so there'd be an island like over this canyon area. So yeah, let me see here. And this is like a really chill, laid-back stream because we got a 3-day weekend with Memorial Day coming up here in the U.S. and I don't have anybody working on Monday other than the people that want to work on Monday. Moderators, bless your souls. You guys are like working 7 days a week, 365 days a year, always moderating Discord, and so we appreciate you. But most people are probably going to be off this weekend with Memorial Day, so that's why that's what I wanted to do, like a little Memorial Day weekend live stream Q&A, just to kind of answer questions, because things have been a little quiet lately, and when things are quiet means we're kind of really busy. So let me try to read some more questions here. When will the gold patron skin be added? Soon. I think we have like we have a pretty good idea of what the skin's going to look like. I think that's kind of like what we're going for with like the base for the gold skin, and then of course that's not in the engine, that's in Substance. It'll look even better when it's in the engine, but that's kind of like what we're going for with that. So. And of course, there'll be a shimmer that you can apply on that as well. So. There will probably be a skin recipe using the gold skin. There's we're gonna be doing a new skin system, like your if you have like exotic skin colors, you know, unlocked in the game or like on your account from a DLC, you'll be able to. We're gonna make it so that you'll have like these when you're like making your eggs, you'll be able to like design the skins of your egg to a point. Like you'll have certain color, what are they called, swatches that you can like apply, and we're also adding some new skin patterns, so that, you know, with the patterns come like different designs, and that's what I was kind of showing a little earlier with this. This is the first skin that we did with the new UE5 skin pattern system. And you know, with the pattern, you know, all these other colors can be changed out, you know, and mixed up a little bit. That's the same pattern, but just with different colors, to make it more purple and green. And this is the work of Xyliv and Flickr. So I had some, I made the original skin material. Flickr has modified it, and Xyliv designed this skin pattern. And then she designed it, and then Flickr translated it from a 2D concept into substance, and then boom. Let's see, has Simon worked on any new sounds we can hear? Yes. Let me see. Let me find them. I think this is the micro threat. You guys hear those? Can you guys hear that? Yeah? Okay. That is the feathered Zigavo, aka the micro. Feathered Zigavo. That's the threat call for that. Here's a Nurse Dragon Surrender. Here's the friendly Bio Dragon. The bio is not technically. It's not a tropical. It's more of a cave dragon. I mean, it makes its home in caves where it specifically like the shimmering. I think they're called the shimmering caverns. That's where they're all going to spawn. So if you spawn the game as a bio, you'll spawn in the shimmering caverns. I think that's what Parrot called them. I'd have to look it back up. They're either the shimmering caves or shimmering caverns or something like that. But it's basically our hidden world, and that's where they spawn. So when you spawn in the game as a bio, you spawn in the shimmering caverns, which is pretty much everything glows down there. And there's flowers that grow down there that they eat. So when they're out in the world, they won't be able to eat meat. They'll be able to drink water, but for them to find food, they're gonna have to find their flowers. So, and yeah, so bio's gonna have it's a cosmetic dragon that has no combat abilities. It doesn't even have a bite. It has no attacks. So it literally is just, a cosmetic dragon. And it was a Kickstarter pledge dragon that people paid for. And, so its only ability, it's really fast. It's extremely maneuverable. It can fly backwards. It can fly forwards. It can It's nothing can catch it. It is that fast, but it's also the weakest. It's like super weak. Um, I think it's a class 2, so Micro is a class 1. Micro will have less health, but the Bio literally has no armor. No defenses. It's just, you know, a glow dragon. So it can glow. It glows in the dark. It can make other dragons glow with its bile. And it eats, flower nectar, and, has a very fast growth rate, so won't take long to grow into an adult. We're actually working on some different nest ideas. Let's see if I can find some of the kind of like 2D designing nests right now. Here's some of the these are some early concepts, so don't like say, hey, here's what they look like. I'm just showing you guys some of the stuff we've been working on. So. We're also kind of like trying to figure out what the flowers they eat are going to look like. This is kind of like an exploratory sketch of what their flowers might look like. As you can see, we got the bio rig is all finished right there, and so that's the full rig for the bio dragon, and it's all ready to be animated. So animation's the last step. Everything else is done for it. So all you Kickstarters out there that have a bio dragon, or maybe people that won one in a contest or something, they are all ready to be animated, and you can expect them in the game in version 1.0, which is going to be the first version we released that's using Unreal Engine 5. And we are also expecting our order of plushies to be in this summer. I think they said July 15th is when our plushies are supposed to be here. So this is our bio dragon plushie. The one on the left is the prototype, and the one on the right is the manufactured plushie out of the factory. It's got the Daedragon's tag on it. Yeah, we are. There's going to be two ways to get the Baby Bio plushie. The first way is if you are a patron that has reached the $200 lifetime pledge tier. And this is not something you can just buy. This is something that we have patrons that have been subscribers for since the beginning, and they've never stopped subscribing. So some of them have, pledged in the course of however long that's been, over $400. I mean, there's some really dedicated patrons out there that support us, and so we're like, I mean, these people have been just subscribing for month after month after month, and then we were like, we got to figure out some way to give back to them. So that's where we came up with the lifetime subscriber rewards program, where if you have subbed in your lifetime of pledging $100 or more, then you're in the 100 tier, and you get some special rewards, like the Crimson Shimmer, an emote, some jelly flies, cosmetic effect, and so then we're like, let's do a 200 reward. So now we have a 200 pledge reward as well. And so one of the ways to get a bio plushie is anybody that has subscribed to Patreon and has pledged in their lifetime, $200 or more American dollars, then they'll get we're going to ship them a Baby Bio plushie, and we're going to start shipping in either late July or August. And then the other way will be you'll be able to just buy it, but we have to figure out how we're going to do that. So as far as like a store, some kind of online storefront or something, but that would be the second way you'd be able to just buy the plushie. But first we're shipping them to our patrons, and then we'll figure out how we're going to sell them, probably either on our website or some way like that. So, but Bad Parrot designed this plushie, so if you think it's really cute, then you can thank her for that. She did a good job on designing the plush. That's a Bio Dragon roar, faraway sounds. Oh, the Ravager has sounds. There's I think, don't we have a video on our YouTube channel that has Infernal Ravager sounds? Maybe somebody could find that. I think there is. How are we? I'm not really sure how to do a prepay for 200. I think you can like put in a custom amount. I think there's a way to just like make a custom payment, and then you just message us on Patreon, and then we'd make sure you got all the rewards. If you just wanted to like pledge the 200 and without a subscription. I know that's one way to do it. Another way we'd have to like maybe have a $25 tier or something. But for us to do a $25 tier, then we got to figure out what we want to offer in the $25 tier. So. Maybe we never did one for the Ravager. We do appreciate all the patrons out there in the chat. Patreon is like, it's a huge, like, if you all have noticed, like, as our Patreon has grown, we've been able to hire more people to work on the game, and we really appreciate all the support, because, you know, the more people that support us in Patreon, the more people we can hire, and the more work and faster we can get the work done. So we definitely appreciate that. Can we talk about the redacted Leviathan? Well, the redacted Leviathan is going to be a Hydra. I think I already confirmed that in a couple different ways. It will be an unnatural Hydra. One head will be fire, one will be ice, and the other one will be lightning. It will take 3 players to play the Hydra. So you'll have to have 3 players to be able to play it. Each player will control a head, and the person in the center head will control the body. It's going to be awesome. The reason the fish hasn't been released is because we don't have a fishing mechanic in the game yet. So the fish can't get out of the water, so you have to be able to catch the fish while it's in the water, which requires a fishing mechanic, and that's not in. I haven't even created it yet, so that's why the fish is on the Trello for 1.1, because that's like the main food for the Singe Crest. So that's why we're wanting to put the fish in with the Singe Crest, as that's when we'd have the fishing mechanic in the game. So you'd be able to like catch fish out of the water if they're close to shore, or if you're a Singe Crest, you could just swoop down and grab one out of the water. The thumbnail, that skin that we're showing off, that is our first skin that we made with the new skin system, which allows us to like have different patterns, and it also looks really good in Unreal Engine 5. So that's it there. Will you be able to choose a spawn zone in 1.0? Your species will have its own like spawn biome. Like your species will spawn in a specific biome. Like Frostfells will spawn up in the Winterwind area, the Arctic area, tundra, cold, climate. But we might have like different areas in, different spawn points that you can select. Maybe not the specific spawn point, but like an area, spawn area within that biome. But you won't be able to spawn outside of that biome that belongs to that species. So if your species is a forest, you're going to spawn in the forest. If it's a lava land species, it's going to spawn somewhere in the lava lands. What is happening with the white dragon skins? What is happening with the white dragon skins? Not sure what is happening with them. Any date for the new map or the new update? Nope. If I knew a date, I would announce it, but we got a lot of work to do on the new map, and so when it's in a playable state, then it'll be ready, and it's got to be in a playable state before we can release 1.0. So I could have everything else done for 1.0, but if the map's not ready, then we can't release it yet. So but Branton he works pretty fast, and he's really good, so I don't think we'll have an issue with that. So this actually is something that this is kind of like the concept we're working off of for the new mega map with all the biomes, and our very own Sun Dragoness has been working on this. So you guys get to see like some things we've been working on. So it's like you got this is kind of like our continent of our 32-kilometer mega world, mega map, and you got the Winterwind area in the north, you got the foresty areas in kind of in the middle with the swamp. You got swampy areas would be down there where in the southwest. You got the tropics down the south, you got the lava lands area with the volcano, and you got the dangerous dune desert down there in the southeast. So yeah, so Sonny's done a really good job working on that, and Branton uses that like as kind of like a reference for making the big mega map world. Will dragons be able to nest outside their home biome, like a fire dragon nest in the desert or forest? You can nest outside of your biome, but it doesn't mean you'll be able to incubate your eggs outside of your biome. Because your eggs, when I put the temperature mechanic in the game, you're going to have to make sure that your eggs are kept at the right temperature or they won't incubate. And if they don't incubate, they're just going to be micro dragon food. So micros will, the feathered zygavos, they'll be very welcomed around nesting sites as long as they're not stealing. Because it's one way for nesting mothers to get rid of their eggs that they don't want is to just give them to a feathered zygavo. How big will the Ice Drake be compared to a hybrid? And will it have a long-range ice breath? It's going to be a lot bigger than the hybrid, more than double the size of a hybrid. The behemoths are very, very large. Yeah, the Ice Drake behemoth, which we haven't named yet, on our current roster, he's the only dragon that can solo kill a magma elemental. So elementals will definitely not want to mess with the behemoths. So if you are on a server where you got a lot of elementals killing people, just make sure you have a behemoth around to protect your nesting area. But the counter, the behemoth is going to be the Leviathan class, which the Hydra Leviathan will be able to kill a behemoth no problem. So yeah. Portals will no longer be needed to travel to other biomes. We have nothing new to talk about with the hybrid. Hybrid has, we haven't modeled him yet. He's coming after the Behemoth Ice Drake. We're working on the micro right now. And micro's taking a lot of time because of the feathers. And so once the micro is done, we're going to model the Behemoth Ice Drake. And then once he's done, then we're going to work on the hybrid. And we save the hybrid for last because he's the most complex and complicated dragon to model and rig. And so we wanted to wait till he was, we wanted to wait until we got all our mistakes, we made all our mistakes and got all the kinks worked out on all the other dragons before we messed with the hybrid, because I want him to be perfect. So you can kind of see the feather card areas for the micro there, working on different working on his feathers. So Any idea on how someone will unlock the Leviathan Hydra? Yes, it's all been figured out, and only a few people know how it's going to work, and I'm not going to spoil that. That is like the most OP dragon in the game. Which is why you have to have 3 players playing the thing, because it's too OP for 1 player, so you have to have 3 players playing it. And yeah, I'm not going to talk about how that's unlocked, but it's going to be, it's like the end game content of the end game players. Like, it's like the most in game content. So, you know, you guys will be like, you won't be able to say there's nothing to do because I'll be like, have you unlocked the Leviathan yet? And I'll be like, no, it's too hard. Well, I mean, if you want something to do, there you go. You can go unlock the Leviathan, because it's going to be really hard. There's going to be a lot of stuff to do. I mean, there'll be different dragons to unlock. You know, there'll be questing. There'll be, you know, pearls. The pearl grind. You know, trying to find the pearl that you want. So you have to either try to find someone else that has it and trade, or, you know, you have to kill stuff to get the pearls you want for your dragon, whether it's a cosmetic pearl or a stat pearl. So yeah, so there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. The Leucistic skins right now, if you're talking about anything that broke in the last patch, yeah, the skin stuff is all going to be fixed later with the new skin system, so I'm not really worried about it like right now. I know some of them are broken, but we had that hacker that was you know, spam killing people, and I put out a patch I think the next day that stopped him dead in his tracks, and he still tried DDoSing the servers, but you know, his admin hacks he was doing, you know, I stopped those. So let's see here. How would you play the Leviathan after logging off? Would you have to wait for all 3 players and invite them into the dragon? How to answer that without giving away spoilers? You cannot play the Leviathan if somebody logs off. And I can't tell you how that works without spoiling things, which I don't want to do. So, but you will need all 3 people that are in the, you know, that are controlling the Leviathan to be logged on. Will players be able to respec their mutation points in the future? Maybe via a quest. Like a one-time respec, or like just keep specking back and forth. I don't like the idea of respecking. I like people's decisions to be final. Because once you introduce respecking, then they have it all pretty much. They can, if they want to go nesting, they don't need other nesting dragons, you know, that have invested points in the breeding line. They can just respec, do the quest, respec, then do their nesting, and then when they're done nesting, they respec again to whatever else they wanted to be back in. And so it takes away the dependency on other players. And I'm trying to design Day Dragons to be a social game, to where, you know, other players are a part of the gameplay. And main reason being, you know, multiplayer games where you don't need anybody, you end up mastering everything, and then you don't play it anymore. Single player games, you know, once you beat the game and done all the content, if you're a min-maxer, you don't play it anymore. The multiplayer games where you need other players to help you do what you got to do, and then there's, like, you know, consumables that, you know, or, you know, the life and death cycle of survival games, and those types of games you keep playing. And so that's the kind of game that I want to make, is a game where you can't have it all. You know, you have to depend on other players for some things. So probably not. There probably won't be a way to respec points. Unless you die and regrow your dragon. So, will the Ice Drake Behemoth be fast on land but low stamina? He's not going to be real fast. He's going to be more of a walker than a runner. So he's not going to have tons of stamina, because you got to balance out how powerful he is. So, you know, if you look at most all games, when there's something really big, it's usually really slow. So, you know, and also the fact that he can't fly. So, but he does have ice breath, and he can freeze dragons in a solid block of ice, and then he can go up to him and kill him pretty easy. So, if you don't want to, you know, he's not going to be somebody you want to mess with. You just are going to want to stay away from him, period. Unless he's your friend, then you'll want to stay close to him. Will there ever be a single player mode so that when live service goes down in the far future, people can still access and play the game? There will be a single player version of Dave Dragon. That's one of the reasons I'm making my systems modular, is so that I can not only easily drop them into the new version of Dave Dragon's multiplayer, but also reuse them in the single player version. Fire Behemoth will be a class 8, and that's the same as the Ice Behemoth. Right now there's only 2 different behemoths, the Ice and the Fire, and they are both drakes. Originally the Fire Behemoth was going to be a dragon, a giant fire dragon, but we decided that that would be just too OP to be able to fly around as a behemoth, and we decided to make them both drakes. So, so that's what they are. They're both drakes. Can the micro land on other dragons? If Parrot has any say in it, yes. She really wants that. She wants them to be able to ride other dragons. She likes tiny things, so. Will there be some balancing so small clans can get a chance to compete for stats with bigger clans? We're looking at the whole clan system. Yeah, we are aware that large clans just, you know, completely dominate a server, and to a point can ruin the experience for other players, because there's just no way that they can even grow on the server. So you know, we're looking at different things. We're not going to do away with the clan system, but you know, clan caves, we might put penalties on clans if they're outside of a certain biome. You know, we're thinking maybe clan territories, and you know, maybe some other things that the bigger your clan is, the more penalties each member of the clan has in certain areas, to kind of deter people from having massive, huge clans, and kind of offset the you know, the player numbers with like certain bonuses and debuffs, so to kind of balance it out. So those are just different things we're kind of looking at. How long will Ice Behemoth take to grow? It's going to take a while. It's going to take longer than in any other dragon, and that's because of how strong it's going to be. So is there a plan to implement a purely survival game mode? A lot of people just want to play the game that way rather than getting wound up in clan politics. Servers can disable clans, so a private server could completely turn the clan feature off, so there'd be no clans on the server at all. So that's kind of already in the game. Will there be different settings that servers could choose to kind of balance PvP and PvE? For example, like the higher crit chance on PvE servers. What kind of settings? I'm not really sure how to answer that question. On a PvE server, you don't really have to worry about balancing PvP a whole lot. Yeah, not really sure how to answer that question. Will you make clans be able to claim land like factions on Minecraft? Like there's a certain amount of land one clan can claim, and other people cannot nest in those claimed areas. I am looking at it, territories, like how to do like territories, and like you know, certain areas a clan can claim and fight other clans for. And your clan would have to be a certain size before you can claim a territory. Still, like early, it's still very early, and like how I'd want to implement that. Will there be more ways for drakes to counter flying dragons? There will be more places for drakes to avoid flying dragons, like caves. So, you know, if you see fast flyers coming for you. You know, you could hide in the cave. Right now, there's no caves to hide in right now on the current map. I just never got around to making caves because of, you know, when you make caves, you have to make sure that people can't fall through the cave, you know, in little cracks and holes and stuff like that, and patch up all the holes. I just didn't have time to really work on that. So, but caves are definitely a good place for drakes and you know, anything that can't fly, because flyers are going to have a hard time flying inside a cave, so it's pretty much ground fighting there. Will behemoths still grow naturally to elder once they come out, or will they get their own shrooms as well? They will naturally grow to their elder stage just over time, so their growth will get slower as they get older, but they will continually grow. They don't need mushrooms. Can you please give server owners the option to fix dragon stats on spawn? Like, everybody starts with the same stats? Yeah, I could do that. The survival game mode people are looking for not only excludes clans, but excludes stats. So people can just hop in and grow and play. So like no stats at all and no clans? Okay. I mean, I could make that an option. You know, no stats, no clans, no groups. Will there be any large herbies in the game? Right now the nurse dragon is the largest herbivore in the game, and she's a class 6. With the community economy, would it be possible for extra emotes that were workshop accepted to be added? Would boost people wanting to trade for sure. Workshop accepted, is that like a mod emote? See, if I'm correct, the bio dragon is toxic when eaten from other dragons. Just how toxic will it be? I think it is toxic, and it would probably be like eating a poison mushroom. Will the micro dragon be able to kidnap baby dragons and take them into trees? And will bugs and swamp snappers be playable? Micro is a egg thief. I'm not sure if we're going to have it kidnap baby dragons too, because it won't eat them. It eats eggs. And taking them into a tree, I guess, could be kind of be like griefing them. I don't know. So I don't know. I have to talk to Parrot about that. With temperature, will it give you debuffs or take away health over time? That's gonna, if you're in an uncomfortable climate, it's going to debuff your dragon. It's not gonna take your health out. It's gonna debuff you because you're. It's gonna affect your comfort level. Can you please add a border thing so that you don't accidentally fly into an invisible wall, like for example you go past? And the new map will, I think we're for the outskirts of the world. It's going to just be ocean. So if you start flying into the ocean and you don't see any land, then you might hit an invisible wall. So. Yeah, they do have different decks. I just don't have them in the game. like there's a tail swipe for the acid spitter. There's a claw attack for the shadow scale. I just don't have those in yet. How is development on the Swamp Snapper going? There's a lot done with Swamp Snapper, but I'm working on Unreal Engine 5 stuff right now. I have to get certain things done for Branton. They continue developing the new Mega Map. Will there be a way for clans to have alliances? You can already kind of have a verbal alliance, like a game alliance. I think that would be even more OP than what clans are right now. See, in the future we'll be able to pick up live AI. Yeah, I do want to add that in the future. I like the idea of picking up live AI and carrying them to a different area. Will Micro Dragon be able to steal eggs to raise with their own plan to balance stat hoarding? That's an interesting idea. You mentioned penalties for big clans. That's just like one of the ideas that we're floating around to combat the OP-ness of the you know, the how overpowered large clans are right now. It's so we're looking at, you know, maybe that as being one of the ways to combat that. I mean, we know that large clans are OP. The issue is how do you still allow large clans, but also you know, prevent them from like completely taking over the server or wanting to be really large. So, you know, one idea is offsetting the size of the clan with penalties, you know, debuffs. So the larger the clan gets, the more debuff is applied to their clan, you know, like an overcrowding debuff, overcrowded. So, and it might even be species, you know, like there might be like certain species might not like being in huge social and, you know, environments. Like a Flamestalker is a solo, it's more of a it's kind of like a leopard that, you know, lives alone and hunts alone, and so you put a bunch of leopards together, they're not going to be real happy. So we might have, you know, something to where it's species based, like, you know, certain dragons might not like being in big social environments, so they'll get a penalty. So those are just some things we're thinking about. We haven't like said this is what we're going to do yet. Just some ideas that are you know, being floated around. How will the micros be handled on PvE servers? They're going to have to eat AI eggs, because you know, stealing eggs is a PvP mechanic. Will servers have the option of disabling global chat? Yes. That's a request I've had several times, and it's easy to do, so that is something that will probably be in 1.0, is the ability to turn off global chat on your server. We'll be able to select different eye colors with the new skin system. I don't know yet. What will be the secondary attack for the Inferno Ravager? I believe it's a horn attack, like a headbutt. Will there be penalties for cannibalism? Yeah, I used to have it to where you couldn't even eat your own species. But then, I had a lot of feedback saying that, some animals, they feed off their own species. So, I don't know. I think before we would do something like that, we have to have a whole lot more different species in the game, because right now, we only have 3 species in the game, so if there's going to be penalties for that, then we got to add a lot more species. Actually, there's 5 in the game if you count the AI, so. Do you have any information for the Venom Drake? I'm curious on what it would look like. It's all I can tell you about the Venom Drake is that it's kind of the antagonist for the Acid Spitter, so they don't like each other at all. How do you become a Patreon? You go to our Patreon website or Patreon page, and then you just subscribe. It's patreon.com/BeAwesomeGames. There's the link down there. I just posted it. Picking up meat chunks. Parrot wants us to be able to pick up meat chunks, so I think we're going to be able to do that. What will the giant sand slayer worms be like? Do they actively hunt players on the map? They will if you are in their territory. So if you go to the dangerous dunes, there are certain areas that are very desolate, and that's where you want to be on your guard, because that's where the sand slayers hang out. Let's see, what will the giant wouldn't a tail attack be good for a Flamestalker because it's so big and has a big turn radius? Also, it has spikes on the tail. Probably. Some options for private servers would be to disable cross-species grouping. Could be implemented where you can only group with the same or similar species. Yes, that's something I could easily do. Since the map will be one big map, how will Pookie and her children travel or work? Let's see. The music is getting scary right now. Pookie and her children, they aren't going to travel outside the dangerous dunes. So if you're in the dangerous dunes and then you leave the area, you'll have left Pookie's territory long before you are entering a different biome. So she's going to be like deep in the heart of the dangerous dunes, and that's going to be like an in-game area where there's not going to be any water in the area. So before you go there, you're going to want to make sure that you're all stocked up on water, and you're gonna want your clan with you or the server with you, and then you're gonna do this big old boss fight. And you know, the rewards, you know, she's gonna drop pearls, Slayer pearls, are the best pearls in the game. So people will want to kill the Sand Slayers just for the pearls, but also you'll unlock the Sand Slayer skin, which is a skin that you can only get by killing, you know, the Dragon's Bane, the Dune Devourer. A lot of questions about dates. Don't have any dates. Could Elder Dragons be bigger? They seem so small but yet are so strong. They could be bigger. Maybe they will be bigger. The thing is, the bigger you get, you know, the more you scale them, the more issues you start running into with hitboxes and animation syncing. Are y'all scared? This music's scary. Let's see, will there be a reason for going into Pookie's territory? Either you have a death wish, or you're after a pearl or a skin unlock. This is the only way to get Slayer pearls is to kill Sand Slayer worms or Snow Slayer worms. The bio is getting a new name. We just haven't decided on the new name yet. Are there any other plans for bosses besides the Dune Devourer? There's also the Snow Slayer worm boss. We are not sure. I mean, then there's the player boss, which is the Leviathan. We're not sure if we're going to add more land bosses, but there will be in the ocean. There will be an ocean boss AI that, you know, ocean dragons will want to fight. Will the Behemoth Ice Drake come out before 1.0? Definitely not. The 1.0 update should have the Inferno Ravager, the Blitz Striker, the Bio Dragon, and the Magma Elementals playables, and then also the Sand Slayer worm as an AI boss. So that's a lot of work. The ice update, I am not looking at the Trello, but I think that's update 1.3, or was it 1.3? Let's see. 1.1 is Cinchcrest and Nurse. Then 1.2 I think is Micro and Hybrid, and then 1.3 is Frostville and the Ice Behemoth. So players will most likely not be able to get to Ancient. I think it's mostly AI. NPCs will be Ancient. It could change, but based on how strong elders are, allowing players to get the ancient is really going to mess the balance up in the game, because the ancients will be able to just kind of, if I did do ancients for players, pursuing the path of the ancient would like end the life of your dragon. Like you'd start a grow old and die timer, so you would like not be able to stay an ancient for very long. So that's the only way I can think of to balance that out of how powerful they'd be. Yes, there will be a fully aquatic playable dragon. The first one we have planned, I think, is coming in 1.4. It's going to be like an Eastern style water drake. How will you deter elementals from working with dragons to kill other dragons? Well, they're not going to be able to group or clan, or have access to global chat. You know, they'll have their own global chat where they can only talk to other elementals, and they'll only be able to group with other elementals. They won't be able to clan at all. And most likely, if they are in the presence of a dragon, the dragon will start taking damage, even if it's not like if it's idling or just not attacking or fleeing from the elemental, he might start taking damage. But that is definitely something that I've thought about, because there's going to be like a clan that's going to have somebody that unlocked their elemental, and they're going to be trying to work with their elemental to kill other clan dragons. And so, you know, that's something that I have thought about. Will the water dragons be part of an ocean expansion, DLC, or free to players? I don't know if it's going to be an ocean expansion. Because it's going to be the same world, so I don't think it's going to be like its own map. It's the water dragon that's in 1.4 is definitely not going to be a DLC. It's going to be a free dragon. As far as like an ocean expansion, I don't know if we're going to do expansions. Back, you know, before UE5 came out, you know, I would have had to have done an expansion to get ocean in the game, because I had done a completely different map and a lot of different systems. So that had been like a config option, and that had been a different map with a new lineup of dragons and things like that. But since World Partition allows us to have such a huge world, I don't think we're going to need to do an ocean expansion to have a water environment. Will the admins ever be able to spawn crabs? Scrabs? Possibly. I'm not sure. Right now it's just thornbacks are the easiest. They're already there, and they're really easy to kill, so that's why they're there for like admin free food. Will the ocean have waves like in Sea of Thieves? Yes. I don't know if they're going to be like Sea of Thieves, but the water in Sea of Thieves is so amazing. They did, like, that's the only reason I play Sea of Thieves, just to look at the water. Because of how amazing it looks. So I don't think we would be able to get to that level. I mean, I think they spent years just making that water. What am I most excited for in the upcoming big patch with the new map? I am most excited for finally, you know, fulfilling the promise of, you know, the game that I set out to make in Kickstarter. You know, back in 2019, I said, you know, this is the game I want to make, and, you know, when the 1.0 update comes out, the game that I said that I wanted to make and that I alpha'd, you know, we did the whole alpha branch thing. That game will finally be done, and then after that it's just a matter of putting in all the stretch goal rewards from the Kickstarter. But you know, so that sense of finally finishing something that has spent you years making, that's what I'm gonna be most excited about. You know, and then it's just, you know, get the stretch goals in from the Kickstarter, and then new content after that. So you know, to keep building upon the game and making it better. But you know, I didn't know in 2019 how long it would take. But you know, it's definitely taken a long time, and I think things could have went a little quicker if you know, if we had done this before. But you know, being a new studio, new game, you know, first game, and having to learn everything about making a game and game development on our own as we go, you know, that it's got, you know, a lot of time involved, and you know, because there's a big learning curve. But you know, we got our systems down pat now, and you know, we know how to make a game, and y'all are playing it, and we're gonna make it even better with the 1.0 release. I love Unreal Engine 5. I feel like Unreal Engine 5 was made for Day of Dragons, because it has the features, the open world features that I so desperately needed and wanted for my game. That you know, when I was looking for an engine to use, you know, I looked at Unreal Engine and I skipped it because I didn't think that Unreal Engine could do the you know, the type of open world game I wanted to do, because Unreal 4 in the early versions was mainly made for shooter games, you know, small maps, spawn and buildings, you know, static lighting, and they didn't really have all the open world tools that I needed to make my game. And then in later versions of Unreal Engine 4, they started adding all these new things that are really needed for an open world survival game. And then with Unreal Engine 5, you know, we got world partition, we got 64-bit floating point precision, we got you know, volumetric clouds, we got global dynamic illumination with Lumen. It's like, wow, this is amazing, and it's going to make the game so much more immersive than it ever could have been if we stayed with Unreal Engine 4. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 1.0. It's going to be the game that you know, it's going to be our first our first actual release. Like, when I say release, I mean like this is the end of early access for us. You know, I'm not going to stay in early access for like forever. You know, this is my actual. This is when I say, okay, the game that we set out to make. This is it right here, and everything after 1.0 is going to be, you know, Kickstarter stretch goals and expanding on the game. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, what else should I show you guys? There's the that's the Flamestalker blue skin we're kind of messing with in Unreal Engine 5 new skin system. I'm just kind of going through all the different things the devs have been putting out here and seeing what we kind of can show you. This is kind of like a 2D landmark, 2D concept Xylev did of a landmark area in the new map. We're kind of like trying to make landmarks that are memorable, that players can, you know, name and say that's the fallen tree, or something like that. So. It's kind of like some standing, you know, we're kind of like trying to figure out how the Singe Crest will stand and, you know, his different poses and things, and that's kind of like, that's why we hired Xylev. We needed like someone to be able to draw some of these. So, when we were doing the Inferno Ravager, wyverns are really hard to pose because you design their wings and then in their, you know, legs, and then you try animating them and you realize the arms are too long or the legs are too, you know, too short, and so you got to figure out how they're supposed to stand, because when they're T-posed and their arms are straight out, and you just get you don't get the right stance and things like that. So so we kind of, you know, are going through different stance. How is the Singe Crest going to stand? He's going to stand like an eagle. He's going to stand like a vulture. You know, just different, you know, different things like that when we're doing development. And same with the Inferno Ravager. One of the reasons he's delayed is because of his stance and, you know, his arms and legs. So we have to kind of like take some things back to the drawing board and say, okay, how long are his legs supposed to be, and how long is his arms supposed to be, so he can stand and walk properly. And so we're looking at different walking and moving stances for him. Another landmark concept of like a Pride Rock, a new Pride Rock. Let's see. See if we have any other more questions before I wrap this up. Like, time just flies so fast when you're like doing when you're doing one of these live streams. I'm not even sure how long this thing has been going. I'm looking for when did I start? 2:15, so it's been 2 hours. Do you have any previews of the new Shadow Scale emotes yet? I have some early whips of the emotes that I don't want to show because people will be like, oh, that doesn't look right, or it's broken. So, when will the Elder Shroom system be tweaked? 1.0. Can we get a woodland dragon like the one Jahal made that was showcased on the Kickstarter page? Maybe in the future. When do you think the Inferno Ravager will be released in 1.0? Could we listen to the Inferno Ravager calls? I gotta find them. Oh, I'm probably have to download them off the cloud. Oh wait, they're in the game. I can just hold on. Those calls are really old. We made those back in 2019, October, November, or something like that. So we're probably gonna tweak them a little bit to get them up to speed. But I think those calls were in the alpha version for the Fire Wyvern. Oh, we only have 100 people watching this right now. So people are dropping off. They probably have to go cook some hamburgers or something. But I know I'm hungry, so I'm gonna probably wrap this up. Appreciate everybody showing up for our Q&A. Hopefully you got your question answered. I know I missed a lot of questions because I was like, doing other things and can't read the chat constantly. So we'll try to do another live stream or Q&A soon. But we're working on making this game, and we appreciate all of you supporting us, and even just supporting us by tuning into the live stream or Q&A. But we'll continue to improve the game, fix bugs, add new content, and 1.0 is going to be amazing, and you guys are going to love it. Unreal Engine 5 it's a great engine, and I cannot wait to play Day of Dragons in Unreal Engine 5. And I know a lot of people are going to love the volumetric clouds and the weather system and the new water system. And I'm going to see if I can pull up Unreal Engine 5 here real quick, just to show you some of the weather and clouds and the lighting. Let's see if I can What do you guys think of that? That's pretty amazing, right? Really pretty. It's gonna be cool being able to fly into the clouds and have all those different weather effects and all that stuff. Hacking situation, yeah, I know about that. We're gonna fix those hackers. We're gonna fix their wagons. Yep, so y'all are gonna love Unreal Engine 5 playing Day of Dragons, and there probably is going to be somewhat of a increase in system requirements, but we're going to try to keep everything scalable. Like you'll be able to turn the volumetric clouds off and just go back to the 2D clouds that we have in Unreal Engine 4. You know, if the clouds are killing your PC, you'll be able to, you know, disable certain things to try to increase your performance on your computer. But if you have a computer that can run it, you know, this game's gonna it's gonna be so beautiful, because we're gonna make use of all the cool outdoor effects of Unreal Engine 5 and try to make the world as real looking as possible. So, alright, well, thank you for staying around till the end for that, you know, post-credit scene. I like showing the best, you know, the coolest stuff at the very end for whoever stayed around. So, with that said, I'm gonna end the stream and I'm gonna go grab some chow. And I think my nephews are coming over this evening and for the weekend, so yeah, spend some time with them. So y'all take care. We'll see you next time.